Hey everyone, it's been a while since I uploaded. Sorry I've been gone for so long. There's a couple reasons. I've been pretty busy with some stuff that I'll get into at the end of this video. But I thought I'd end off the year with a studio tour of my office to show you the space I do my creative projects in. So that's what this video is. It's a tour of DeviDraw Studios 2021. Now if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and consider giving this video a like. Thanks. I'll get into the video. To start off, I'm going to give you a tour of my filing cabinet. So to kick it off, above the filing cabinet, we have an old artwork I did from college. It was my Adobe Illustrator class, and this was my 3D object paint project. So this is what I made in basically using a picture of a little action figure I made myself. What's supposed to look like a 3D image. Down here we have my color tops for my chameleon color changing markers, and these are my little mannequins. These things are pretty cool. So basically I use these to create poses for things I'm going to draw. So you can pose them any way you like, basically. And what's neat is you can change out the hands. In the bottom here is a bunch of extra hands and accessories like swords and a laptop. So you can basically do anything you want. And each one of them has it. I have a male and a female mannequin. So I have reference point if I want to draw something. Alright, moving on. So there's a total of 4 drawers in this filing cabinet. I have sketchbooks, supplies, projects, and artwork. Starting at the very top, we're going to check out my sketchbooks. So basically this is just a drawer containing all the sketchbooks I've ever owned. There's a collection from here from all the way to high school to all the way to college and present day. These are all my sketchbooks. So it's funny, I have a habit of buying sketchbooks and not completely filling them. So there's sketchbooks in here that have quite a few empty pages that I never put anything in. So I just, whenever I need access to paper, I got all this stuff here. You know, just for the fun of it, let's dive into one of my sketchbooks and see what I can find. You know, let's dive in and see what fun projects I was working on at the time. Oh. Bruh. Okay, so moving on. No, just kidding. Like, actually, I did have some fun. I'll show you something. I'll show you a little something from my sketchbook from my college years. Let's see here. This is like a time when I tried to practice like real objects, create shading on like utensils and cooking materials and that. Some little character sketches I did. Just practicing perspective and things like that. It's a little piece of scorpion I did. I think I drew that. Yeah, I drew that one on the job when I was a cashier. I just used the spare time when I wasn't helping customers to just sketch, do things like this. Yeah, I think that ended up becoming a painting later on. Anyways, yeah, so these are all my sketchbooks. I have like, yeah, just a bunch here. Just everything I've ever drawn in is in this drawer. So yeah, that's the sketchbooks. Moving on to drawer number 2 is my supply drawer. So this drawer has everything that doesn't fit in all my compartments on my art desk. So basically every little supply that I have on hand is in here. So in the front here we got things like screen tones, we got special paper, some blank canvases. So I can do some canvas work, some extra paper. This is like special comic paper. Like has special markings on there. Hang on, let me get the focus. Alright, so yeah, you could sort of make it out here. Yeah, just like some little lines there. They basically mark where your artwork would be on the page if you're doing a professional comic. So yeah, just have things in here like dividers, special colored paper, extra binder. These are like some of the screen tones. These things are really cool. I'll show these off in a video in the future. In the back we have like one of those massive canvases because I got a plan for using this. That's the other frame from my Lightbox video that I did. That's just sitting in there. So we have things like paintbrushes. I have a charcoal set in here, paint, some extra mannequins. This is a cool little hand mannequin I have for doing hands. So you can like get a better reference of how to draw a proper hand. You can basically put it in any position you want, do fist, things like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have some old wooden mannequins that are down here, but they're like broken. I need to throw them out, honestly. So yeah, just that. Extra pencils, glue sticks, things like that. Another marked mini pad for cutting. Just whatever I would need it. So that wraps up everything in the supply drawer. Next drawer is the projects drawer. So in here is every single project that I've been working on that's supposed to be more than an art piece. So these are things like my books, things I want to work on one day, YouTube videos. These are some art prints I got made from my Sharpie marker video. Just give them out as gifts to people if they want to color. And there's all my stuff for my card game. As you can see, like I finally got my prototype a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, but as you can see, it has been lots and lots of trial and error to get that game working just right. So I have printed off hundreds of cards, been playing around with different types of the game, different types of cards. Like the game has gone through so many transformations because I'm just trying to get it just perfect. But it's getting there. I'd say it's really close to being done. It just has to go through more playtesting to make sure all the rules work out and there's no glitches in the game. That's all those. Down here is just some folders containing projects I've published. So like for instance, so this folder has all the stuff that I have for the book I published, the Cheetah Spots. So there's every original artwork in here from every page. I'll just show you here. I did them all originally on Copic markers. They're upside down. So I'll just go through here. Yeah, there's the cover. So it's just like every single page from that book, just all compiled together in a nice little folder. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a little project folder. Basically, just everything that involved with making that project happen is in this little folder. I just keep it in there for keepsake. That's the projects folder. Alright, now the last folder on our list is the artwork folder. And this thing contains a lot of my artwork. So this contains all sort of the pieces that are taken out of the sketchbooks and that are just in sheet form. It's like right off the bat, for example, this is a canvas it's of that artwork I mentioned earlier in the sketchbook. This is that canvas, but I never finished it. I got really close. I was really happy with how the head turned out, but I was using Copic markers with paint, and as I kept going, I started to wreck my Copic markers, so I sort of stopped, but because I didn't want to wreck my markers anymore. But I should try and finish this eventually if I can get some paint supplies and try painting. So yeah, this just basically contains artworks from the day, past things. Oh, and it also has a couple newspapers in here from when I had my stuff in the newspaper. I guess I should show off an artwork of some sort in here. This one, I used to be a big fan of Teen Titans as a kid. Ooh. So this is a piece I did of Raven from Teen Titans. I really like. This is back in 2015, so wow, like 6 years ago already. It was 2015. Yeah, so there's one of my artworks. So yeah, basically all these drawers are just my artwork, basically ordered by canonical order. So basically whichever one came first. So like in the very front is like when I very first started trying art, like back in high school, so like stuff like this, and then like further on, like you keep going, you get to like later on, basically. Let's see if I can find some here to show. Oh yeah, this isn't my artwork. This is interesting though. I have a relic from, so the way I got started on art, there was an app called the LAKEY World, and it was basically before Instagram was popular. It was sort of an Instagram of just posting your artwork, kind of like DeviantArt. And this was a art print I ordered from the founder of the LAKEY World app. I think her name was, yeah, it was just Paige. And I was the first person to order one of her prints, so she sent me an original art. I just have to find it here and dig it out. But yeah, I just have that from back in the day. Paige Rorick, that was her. Yeah. That brings back memories. I used to have 1,000 followers on that app, and I was building like a little art audience, but then the the app got shut down, so that was the end of that. I had to restart from scratch on Instagram. That's the last drawer on this thing. The only thing left to really show off in this area is over here. It's just where I keep some of the bigger stuff. So this is like some foam core board. If I wanted to use it for my farmers markets when I'm selling, I just like write little messages on there saying I'm selling. I got a little carrying case for canvases, some wrapping paper, and this is the case for my camera slider, basically. It's a carrying case for it. So yeah, I just kind of utilize this space for stuff that's kind of in the way and stick it all in there so it's out of the way. Oh, and over on this wall, I just got some little artworks from Comic-Con. I kind of met all these artists personally, so I kind of hang them up. It was nice talking to him, learning about the industry. Like the guy signed the artworks for me. He sold me some of his original comics there, Apocalypse. I actually really liked them. I'd have to look up online if he's continuing that. And this one was just an artwork I liked because of I thought it was cool with the guns, and I don't know if that's an actual character from a real anime or manga. I just kind of liked that she was holding an AK-47. Thought it was cool. So I bought that woman's artwork. I like the style of it. That concludes showing off the filing cabinet. And next I'll be giving you a tour of the art desk. Guess I'll start by showing you my office chair. I went and picked up a nice gaming chair. My old one broke, so I wanted something that was going to last and be really comfortable to work on, so I got this nice blue one here. Wasn't too expensive, and I like that it didn't have a logo. I'm not a fan of the chairs that have like the big logo in the middle. I much prefer one that looks plain. Up here on the wall we just have a row of my books I've published, just in paperback form, just to keep me motivated to keep working. And next to it is one of my original characters that I got put on canvas. It's a nice canvas board. These are my little studio lights. So I got one on each side. Helps me get my good studio lighting. It's actually a really nice desk. I got it a couple years ago at an art store. It has all kinds of features to it. The angle can actually change on it. It can switch to up or down. Those are my line of Copic Chow markers. A lot of them are dead, unfortunately. I've sort of tried my best to take out the ones that are low or dead in that sense, and just left the ones that are still good. I've collected a decent amount of the Copic sketch markers. Eventually I'm just gonna buy like the full sets, and because they have a lot more ink, and one of these days I do want to replace all my Copic markers just so I can rely on them more effectively when I go to use them. And to shoot my videos, I have this camera here. This is my Canon Rebel. I can't remember the code name of the camera, honestly, off the top of my head, but it's a DSLR, and I have it attached here to a microphone arm. So basically these arms are used generally for microphones, but they work well for weighted cameras too. So basically it allows me to set it in any position I want. I can move it up here, I can move it down here, I can move it out, I can move it in, I can move it down. And with this adjustment here, I can change the angle any way I want. I could face it up and lock it, I could face it forward. So basically it allows me complete control of the sort of filming angle I want to get. It's really cool actually. A zero gravity arm, basically. You can move in any position. And I'll show it from a distance. Want to get close in on something on the table there. Get nice and close. Want to back up a bit. It's really useful. And now as a secondary camera, I'm actually pairing my phone with a camera gimbal, the DJI 4. And considering how good cameras are on phones these days, you could basically make YouTube videos with your phone. So I picked up this gimbal to basically act as a stabilizer for it. It keeps the video smooth and straight, and it gets rid of sort of bumps in the angles when you're carrying it around. And it just looks really nice the way the video flows. So I used it mainly for this video actually. It's got a couple extra useful features. One particularly for me is a time-lapse feature that'll be good for my art videos. It even has an extra feature that allows you to lock onto objects in video and track them, so the camera will actually change angle depending on the movement of the object. It's pretty cool, although if you go over a certain speed, it will lose track of the object, so you have to go a certain speed to allow it to keep working. Alright, anyways, back to my art desk. So I have a nice mark pad there to help me with measurements and something soft to cut on if I need to do any cutting of any sort with a knife. I'll start by looking in my drawers here. So my top drawer here on the left is mainly just cutting materials, like things for cutting paper, also getting precision cuts for screen tone and things like that. If you don't know what screen tones are, they'll be in another video. Yeah, basically just all my cutting supplies are in this drawer. Second drawer is mainly just backup Sharpies and inking materials. So I have in here extra multi-liners, and I have my gray Copic, so I could do all my gray coloring if I'm doing some grayscale art. Basically just stuff like that, just mainly inking supplies in the second drawer. And then the last drawer is just basically some extra supplies here. So I have a calligraphy set here because I was trying out some calligraphy for fun, and I have some extra pen tips for more of my manually based ink pens, like my Monroe pens and G pens and stuff for the classic manga art. This is my Copic color book that I never finished filling. When you collect the Copic pens or the Copic markers, you can fill this booklet to show off which colors you have, basically. So you can have a good idea of which ones you need to get still, which ones you're missing, and it also shows you which size they come in too. That's my Copic booklet. Next, I'll show you my little drawer here. This is the only crappy thing about this desk. I don't know why, but it can't go past this area. It's like a full drawer in there. Like there's lots of room, but for some reason it can't handle going past this spot. It just gets stuck. But anyways, basically in here I just keep things like rulers and that. Next, we're just going to explore my little drawer system here. So the top drawer mainly has, these are all my Sharpies that I've collected over the years, just a big pack of multi-liner Sharpies, the super wide sharp pen tip Sharpies, just everything there. I also have a pack of little Crayolas in here, some Crayola pencil crayons. And then oddly enough, I don't know why, but for some reason this is the drawer I collect all the weirdest pens and pencils I could find. Like, got this candy cane pen from work. This is like a wooden log as a pencil. It actually works. I think I used to have a color changing, no, I used to have a color changing pencil here. There's these weird things here. So it's like a pencil with 5 different colors in the tip. Interesting stuff, so it does all these colors. They're basically just the weirdest pencils and pens I could find are stored there, as well as the other things here. Drawer number 2. Drawer number 2 is basically just to collect all my multi-liners. So this, I got a nice base color set with a whole bunch of different colors to choose from. These are my older ones I had over the years, but I just wanted to get like a full set, so pretty much any color I can think of is in there ready to go. Kind of weird though. I have all these Stabilo branded ones, and then for some reason I just have one Sharpie one by itself all alone amongst the Stabilos. Up here is my Copic sprayer. So this is a cool little thing. You basically stick this on here, and you can actually put a Copic marker in this. Actually, let me demonstrate quick. Insert it like so, and you can actually spray the Copic marker almost like spray paint basically. You can basically turn your Copic markers into like a spray paint system, and you can use any color. And these are the canisters to spray them. So that's a neat little thing I bought. Wow! For the Copic markers. Lastly, at the back, this is my little, just a spare pencil case for taking things on the go. If I want to take it somewhere, take any of this stuff anywhere. Drawer number 3. Drawer number 3 is where I generally just keep spare paper if I'm ready to start something new. Whatever sketchbook I happen to be using at the time, I just keep in this drawer. So like my most recent sketchbook will stay in here just so it's ready to go if I want to start anything. I have some spare cardstock paper in here. I want to just do like a piece on its own, not in a sketchbook. And then lastly at the bottom I just have some regular print paper that I use sparingly for, I don't know, cutting projects or if I want to test the colors on a piece of paper. So that's all that really exists in this drawer. Drawer number 4. Drawer number 4 is where I keep all my tapes. I need to tape anything. Yeah, I've had some weird projects involving duct tape, but mainly it's just masking tape in here. The instruction booklet for the cabinet itself. And then I also have just some camera straps in here that are ready to go. And in the bottom drawer, it's mainly just filled with technical equipment. Stuff for the videos, like my camera battery charger and cables for the audio stuff. The little cases that came with my studio lights. That's just basically all tech equipment in this drawer. And on the bottom is the lid to my chameleon markers at the top. So yeah. Alright, next I'll be giving you a tour of my bookshelf. Alright, to start off here at the top, this is an old art piece I did in college. I had a project for Adobe Illustrator where we had to make an art piece using the gradient mesh tool, and I made this painting of Shenron from Dragon Ball, and it's kind of just been in my office ever since because I really love how it turned out. Did all the Dragon Balls, did the dragon. It was just a really fun project to put together. Beginning on the top shelf here is all my sort of little knickknacks I've collected over the years. So I just have some little things I like having displayed here. I have a couple pop sculptures of Goku and Vegeta, just up, I don't know why, but I like them in the box, so I decided to keep them inside the box. Next up I have a Dragon Ball, of course, 4-star Dragon Ball. Thought it was really cool when they all get all of them. For now I just have the one. I have this little acrylic block of Binky and the Ball from my children's book that I got ordered from Redbubble, and I used it as a display piece at my farmer's market from time to time, and just thought it looked really nice, so I decided to hang on to it and just have it displayed up here. I have a couple statues from Overwatch, one of Diva and one of Genji. And then this thing, so this was a light up spaceship I saw in a store, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it because it looked really close to the spaceship I designed for Ellie in Binky and the Ball. I couldn't believe how close it was, so I actually bought it and took it home and tried my best to modify it as closely to look like the spaceship from my book. It looks pretty close. I just have to add a few more touches and it'll look almost exactly the same. And yeah, I decided to just display it on top of my bookshelf here because I thought it looked nice and it reminded me of it. So anyways, moving on as we go down, I have collected a lot of comic books over the years. So these are all my manga books and comic books I've collected for many, many years. When I was a young teenager, I just liked collecting them and reading them all. So this is mainly what my bookshelf is full of, is just mangas. At the top here is my little creations from my 3D pen video that I made recently. So these are all my little plastic creations from the pen. Just have them displayed here on the top shelf of my books. More than you know, Father, don't you let me. Amongst all my comics, I have the hardcover editions of all my children's books. One by one, down the shelf. I love them, so I wanted to have one set of each for myself to keep on display. Down here near the bottom is a funny little gift I got from my dad a few years back. It's a little stuffy of a Sasquatch. Really liked it, so I decided to keep him here. And down at the very bottom, I have some magazines here. This is a magazine I used to collect. It's just called Otaku USA. The thing I liked about it is every single edition of them came with 2 free chapters of manga to read. So it's cool, like every time you bought one you had a full chapter of something you've never read before inside there to check out and see if you like. So those are all editions of that magazine there that I collected for quite some time. Now at the very bottom of my shelf is mainly comprised of how to draw books. So these are all the books I used to use to practice how to draw. Just just a couple of ones I got started on here. I have Mastering Manga with Mark Curley. He's a big YouTuber, big art YouTuber. And I even have some cool books from Japan, like these ones here. These 5 are actually from Japan. I have a couple of the children's books, writer editions. Basically, it gave me an insight to what is popular amongst the children's market. So when I was writing my children's books, these were very useful to get an idea of how to get started with publishing in the children's market. Some of my college textbooks are in here. Don't have a use for those in the world, honestly. They were kind of expensive. This thing's cool. This was a gift from my mom. It's a massive collector's edition of Marvel stuff. It's called the Marvel Vault. So it has like a whole bunch of cool original artwork. It even has these crazy things like sketches in there that are sealed in plastic. It's basically got information on, you know, how Marvel began and the history of Marvel and where all the characters came from. It's really cool, actually. Like I feel like this book is going to be worth something one day, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's just really fascinating to look back and see the origins of Marvel and how all these characters got started in the first place, the original artwork. It's really inspiring. Yeah, that was actually a really good gift idea. Thanks, Mom. This is really cool. It's a nice little piece I'll hang on to for a long time. And funny thing enough, she got it in like a discount area in a store. It's like a clearance shelf. This book has all this stuff. Yeah, the Marvel Vault. Really cool. Yeah. So that's that. I even have this one book here. It's not even a drawing book. It's helpful for references. It's a gun book. It's basically if I ever wanted to try drawing weapons, this book is just comprised of different guns that I could draw. So that's really helpful too. It's just got everything you can need possibly. So yeah, this shelf is mainly just comprised of stuff that helps me with drawing lessons should I need be, or quick pose references or drawing references. Mainly that's where I keep everything, is right here. So to the right of my bookshelf here is my camera slider. So this thing is what I use to get all those interesting rotational shots in my videos. So like my time lapses that spin and do things like that. This is what I use to get those done. It's a couple $100 and it's a good investment. It really adds some dynamic shots to my video for sure. So basically, I think that covers everything on my bookshelf. It's mainly just comprised of manga I've collected over the years, plus a couple personal knickknacks. Just as a nice display piece for my office to give it an extra touch of personality, you know? Alright, that's the bookshelf. Next, we're moving on to my digital center. So to start at the top wall here, this is the artwork I did in the Chameleon marker vid. I just have it on display here on the wall. And below it, this is my printer. I believe it's the Epson Workforce 4000 or 7000 or something. It's this beast of a printer I bought for like $300. It has a lot of features. So it's got a double print tray. It could do 11/17, it could do 8.5/11, it could do legal. Basically any of those sizes will work. I think it can even do 12/18. And you have 2 ports in the front for regular paper, and there's a port on the back to stick in specialty paper like cardstocks and things like that. It's got a USB port, so you can plug things directly in and print, and you can plug in a USB directly to scan. Now the main reason I bought this printer is up here. So this thing has a massive scan bed for it. And the reason I wanted a massive scan bed is those comic sheets I was showing earlier they're bigger than 11/17. I think they're A2 size, maybe A3. I don't know my A's, honestly, never mind. But basically, I wanted a massive print bed to be able to scan those massive comic sheets. So if I ever did a comic one day, that I would have something that can scan my original artwork at size and that I wouldn't have to run to a store and get it professionally scanned. So I have all this space for scanning. I nicknamed it the Beast. It's a massive printer. And I just have it standing on a wheeled trolley. I can get in here. It's kind of cramped in my desk. I can slide it out and open those things. Mainly I just store stuff in there that I don't really use, like some old tech material, things that don't get touched basically, that are just for archiving. So I don't really use the space very often down here because it's impossible to get in there. But I do keep some stuff in there, like extra paper and that. So moving on to the desk, I'll start by, I guess, looking at the artwork above. So in the corner here, this is just a sort of a pin-up art I saw in a magazine that I took out. I don't even know the game, honestly, that it's from. I've never played it. I just like the artwork, so I hung it up. Maybe one day I'll try that game, actually, and know what it is. Down here is an old Sharpie artwork I did from the colored Sharpie set that they sold. That came, it was basically a color sheet that was included. So I colored it in. Up top, we have another artwork from that girl at the farmer's market. She did a Suna from Sword Art Online. I liked it, so I bought that. And next to it, this is my artwork from my Sharpie challenge video. So that's when I did an artwork using only Sharpies. So I loved how it turned out so much, I decided I was going to hang it on the wall as well. Now we look on the top shelf of the desk. So these are all the perk drinks from my perk drink video where I tried to make perk drinks from Call of Duty Zombies, and I love how they look, so I decided they're going to stay there forever as display. I just think they look awesome on top of my desk. Next to them I have a little art piece I did with some Posca pens I picked up. I'm going to be doing a future Posca pen video. It's a little butterfly I put together with just a few colors I had at the time. More colors are on the way, and I can't wait to make a video using those, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Over here, so this is a little coffee mug I got. It was a gift from, I used to sell my children's books for the Children's Hospital, and it was a long campaign I did for a while. Like, we sold a bunch of copies and we gave all the profits to the Children's Hospital. I had this nice little arrangement set up with my college that they would let me print my books under the condition that they be sold for charity. So I sold them for a couple of years there, and this is one of those gifts they gave me for helping fundraise for them. So I've kept it ever since here in the office, just as a little reminder of that fun experience. Below them I have my little YouTube business card. So this is my little YouTube business card I threw together just with all my social media on it, and little link to my books on the back. I use a little QR code. You can actually scan that and it'll pull up my Amazon page with all my books. Sometimes I hand those out here and there. This is my letter opener. I thought it was so cool when I saw it. If you can't tell what it is, so the video game Final Fantasy VII, this is Cloud's Buster Sword. And I saw it, I'm like, I gotta have that. That's like the coolest letter opener I've ever seen. So yeah, I just have a letter opener just sitting up here whenever I need to open letters. Next to that, I have the hardcover version of June the Jellyfish. So I just have it sitting on top here. And then this thing here, this is a T-Rex skull that was made with a 3D printer. My brother's very talented with a 3D printer, and he made it for me as a gift, like as a surprise little gift, and it's so cool. Like it, boy, imagine if I could do this with a 3D pen like my stuff. So it's like a two-part piece, like it's connected through the jaw. You just click them together. So yeah, it's a 3D printed T-Rex skull. I thought it looked so cool. I'm like, that's got to be in here. It's gonna go with the rest of the stuff and make it look so nice. All right, so moving down the desk, we have a little compartment in here, and this is just some extra storage. These are some sketchbooks I bought recently. I saw how nice this paper is. It's like that really thick cardstock. Has a nice texture. I'm like, I gotta try making some marker art in those. So I picked up a couple. Below it, this is my Prismacolor pencil crayon set. So a couple of years ago, I was in Michael's and they had a special promotion where if you gave them an email, they would take, I think it was at the time, 30 or 40% off your purchase. And these were like I don't know, I can't remember, maybe like $200, and I got them with the 40% off. So I got them for like, I think $60 or $70 off. So it was a really good deal, and I've had them ever since. So it's just a nice little set with a bunch of different colors, basically, of Prismacolors. It's really nice, high quality pencil crayons. So yeah, those are my Prismacolors. I just keep my extra camera batteries up here too. Kind of an odd spot for them, but that's basically what goes there. Over to the right here, I just have a little draw pad, or if I want to put any notes or anything or reminders. My girlfriend wrote that. Hello, Devin. Yeah, she was in here. And then I have this little cabinet. I really need to clean this spot out, so this is just full of basically garbage that's kind of in the way. Extra, well, I won't say garbage. It's like my extra business cards are in here, my older business cards. Some of the packaging for like some tech I bought basically sits in here. Just basically stuff like that. Stuff that really doesn't get touched, honestly. If I need to get something out of the way, I can just throw it in this little compartment here. So now the bottom of the desk. This is where I do all my main digital work here. So on the right here, this is an extra little camera stand I have. It's one of those bendable ones. It's basically be posed in any way. It's really stiff though. It's like you can bend the legs, basically do any shape you want. Now this thing here, this is how I do other rotational shots. So the other camera slider is for like distance rotation, and this is for like immediate close-up rotation. So yeah, that's what it does. It does little rotational shots. So now to my computer setup. So I have a Surface Pro. I got the one with the best chip for video editing. Obviously, it still gets pretty hot even with the best chip. This is what I do all my video editing on, and I can even do some digital drawing. I got a nice little draw pen here. So to just show off quick, this is a little pose I was working on earlier. So I could basically draw on here with this pen. And it's got pressure sensitivity, so if I press a little bit, I get a tiny line. If I press a lot, I get a thick line. And I use Autodesk Sketchbook as my main drawing app. I have Photoshop, but I find I have CS6, and CS6 seems quite clunky on this setup. And I'm finding I'm having to use a real drawing app to get the work looking nice and get it done. So yeah, I use a real drawing app. I have an interesting little mouse that came with it. It's this weird little snap mouse, so it's flat when it's off, and to turn it on you just bend it. Yeah, it's a weird little mouse, but it works well. It's neat. Right, and over here, this is how I record my audio. I have myself a Yeti microphone with a nice little pop filter. So that gives me that good sound quality when recording voiceover. And at the back here, under my computer, is just an older piece I did back when I was in high school using a drawing lesson book. I did this for my grandma, and my grandma passed away, unfortunately, so I got it back. But I'll always keep it as a keepsake for when I made it for her, just as a good memory piece between me and her. Alright, so now down here, the drawer is mainly just full of stuff that is kind of big and kind of in the way. This is like the sleeve that came on the chameleon markers. Don't know why I still have that. So mainly this is just full of old pieces I used to have hanged, like my edgy college days, keep your coins, I want change, you know, just like posters I kind of liked at the time but decided to take down later on because they just didn't fit the mood of my office. This one's cool. It's like a 3D Van Gogh painting of Starry Night. It's like a vinyl print. And I have some massive sketchbooks if I want to do some big line art down here. This is if I want to do something really big to draw. Got a couple of them, 2. Yeah, so that's basically what's in here. And down here is where I keep my Copic markers that basically are no good anymore. So these are markers that need to be refilled or completely wrecked. Like if I open one of these here, yeah, it's like the nibs basically falling off. Like these are Copics that are done, like the end of their life cycle. I think I organized them in a certain way. The ones on the top just need a refill and don't have the color fill. The ones on the bottom, on the middle, need a refill and actually have the color fills, and then these ones are just wrecked. They're done. So that's basically all that's in this little thing. And I think below I have some extra supplies of, this was like a pencil sketch set that I got for as a gift a couple years ago, and in here I just have some tabs for a binder, basically if I want to stick sheets in a tab for organization. So that's all it's really in this compartment. And then right below it, lastly, I just have all the stuff for my 3D pen. So in here's the box for my 3D pen, and all my color filament just sits in there at the bottom. So yeah, that basically is all the area around my digital desk. Over to the right here is just a little bulletin board I have that I stuck to the wall just to put stuff on. It's basically just extra space if I need to tag something up for a current project I'm working on, so I could take a look at it, or if I need to schedule something on this wall. But it also has some keepsakes in here. This is the ribbon I won at the Pumpkin Lantern Festival in 2019 when I got a honorable mention. So I didn't win, but I never won a ribbon before, so I thought, why not? I'll put it on the wall, even though it's kind of more like a honorable mention. One day I'm gonna try and win it. On the top corner here is a little fundraiser handout I have pinned up here. So this is what I would hand out to let people know that I'm gonna be selling my books for the Children's Hospital, just to invite people around town. So I have that tag there just for memory's sake. Down here is a little pamphlet for the Microsoft Surface products, because I put it up here as a goal. Basically, one day I want to be able to get myself this Surface Studio because I think it looks so nice, or something equivalent, maybe like a Wacom Cintiq and a nice computer to match with it. Just something nice and big to draw on. That's sort of a goal of mine. One day I want to be able to afford one of those. Then down here at the bottom is some more keepsakes of mine. This is a little fan letter I received from one of the kids that read my book. I thought it was so nice and heartwarming that I decided to keep it. Just a nice little letter. Thanks for the special books. We really enjoyed reading Matthew and Monique. They drew nice little drawings of from my stories. I thought it was so nice. It's so nice, like, I haven't received much, but it's so rewarding when I get some fan mail. I don't even know, to be honest, how they got it to me, but somehow they found out my mail information and got it sent to me. But it's so cool to receive fan letters from some of my young readers. It's just so rewarding to know they enjoyed my stories. Here's a little card from the Children's Hospital just wishing me well. I think this was a Christmas card. Yeah. So they just sent this to me after our fundraisers were finished, basically saying thanks for everything and hope all is well. Decided to keep that too. I don't know why I kept this. So I was in a store randomly one time, and someone ran up to me and gave me this and just said, you were the best. Like, it's just a nice card in honor of Remembrance Day. And I just thought that was so nice that someone would just do that, just give you a card with a nice little message on it. So I decided to keep it, just put it here. This is one of my business cards again, one of my older versions of it. And then these are just some guitar picks for my brother, because he was selling guitar picks for a while. His BA Music. I think he still has them up on Amazon. They're pretty cool. I think they look nice. I have this little owl. I just thought it was a nice little keychain to just put on here. Just looks nice. So yeah, my board is quite plain, honestly. It doesn't have much on it. It's mainly there basically if I need to hang something up, and if I need to come back to something later. I've taken down everything else at the moment that was up there, because I like to keep some projects private depending on what I'm working on. But basically it's just up there so I have a place to go put stuff if I need extra room, basically. Alright, and then lastly, the very last thing in my office, this is my banner that I would use to sell at my farmer's market. So this is what I would hang on my table to basically sell all my stuff. So it's a little banner I threw together to just sort of brand my table more and make it look a lot nicer. And I think it did the job, honestly. I remember I was so gassed when I first saw it, when it was brand new and I could hang it on my table. I just thought it looked so cool. Seeing this nice big banner with my colors and my logos. So I decided to keep it and just hang it here on my door. So when I close the office, I have something nice to look at on the door too. Well, that's it. That's the entire office. That's everything in here. Everything I've worked on. This is basically where I work. This is where I do all my stuff, is this nice quaint little space. Obviously it's not the biggest, but I've managed, I think, to make it look like somewhere so awesome to work. Honestly, I feel like I've been able to make it a place where it's somewhere I'd want to come in every single day and work on something cool. And I have that to myself, and I'm so grateful to honestly have a space like this all to myself. It's taken a couple years to build this place up, but man, does it look cool now after all these years. Now, the main reason I actually filmed this office tour is because I've actually moved. I am no longer located in this location with all my stuff. In fact, I actually filmed all this footage, oddly enough, in August, about 4 months ago. Yeah, it took me a ridiculous amount of time to get this video put together, simply because I've been really into my card games creation lately. I've been really working hard on putting my card game together, and I imagine that I'm going to be ready for playtesting soon with real people, because there was actually a lot of last minute changes that I had to make to the game, but I think it looks so much better now than it did before, and I'm really excited to see what I could do with it. So I can't exactly promise when my next upload will be, unfortunately, because I'm still working on this game. I hope to have a new video soon. I'm still working out the setup in the new office I'm located at, so yeah, we'll see. Maybe I can try and have one in the next couple months, or it might be a long time. I can't make any promises. But anyways, guys, if any of you are still watching at this point, I just want to say thanks for watching my videos. It really inspires me to keep this going. 2021 was a tough year for everybody, but I'm really excited to see what can come in 2022. So I'm wishing everyone else a happy new year, and until next time, keep on drawing. See you guys later.
'Cause my only crime was hoping there is something more than this loneliness I feel, but no one makes me feel less alive. We're fighting fire, the way you push my buttons just right. We're fighting